If you like what I do, consider joining my channel or donating to my coffee. Links in the description. Boss fights are the heartbeats of video games, where mechanics, music, and story collide in the most unforgettable ways. And in the Metroidvania genre, bosses define the journey. They're the trials, the turning points, the moments you remember long after the credits roll. Today, I'm counting down the best of the best, the boss fights that don't just challenge your brains and thumbs, but leave a lasting mark on your gaming soul. Now, fair warning, this isn't just about the hardest fights. I'm also judging these based on how memorable they are, how well they enforce the narrative and themes, and how fun they are to actually fight. Also, only one boss fight per franchise, or else only a few games would run the table, and that would make for a pretty boring list. Hey, I'm the Metroidvania Guru, and this is the top 10 Metroidvania boss fights.
Number 10.
The Messenger's Cloud Step is a fun little mechanic, great for platforming, essential for combat. But when you leap through time and square off against the Sky Serpent, that mechanic finally gets its moment to shine. This fight isn't especially hard, but it's incredibly satisfying. You'll chain cloud steps to land extra hits as the serpent coils around the screen, ricochet off fireballs to stay airborne, and just when you think you're comfortable, the serpent removes the cloud floor entirely. Now, it's just you, your reflexes, and your mastery of the cloud step keeping you from plummeting to your doom. It's not the toughest fight in the game, but it is one of the most joyful, turning a simple mechanic into pure aerial poetry.
Number 9.
Moonlight Pulse is a cute, cartoony Metroidvania full of adorable animals doing their best to keep their giant space turtle friend squeaky clean from viruses and parasites. It looks like a Saturday morning cartoon, until you meet FB, the shredder of realities. The space-bending, heart-stopping, head-ripping final boss that shifts the game's tone into another dimension. The fight takes place on the celestial turtle's beating heart, with geysers of blood gushing around you. It's so out of left field compared to the rest of the game's tone, so brutal that I had no choice but to make a music video about it, with vocals by yours truly. You've been warned.
Number 8.
There are boss fights that test your reflexes, and then there are boss fights that haunt you. The last performance in GRIME is the latter. Equal parts opera and nightmare, this battle is a surreal spectacle where theater and madness intertwine. The arena shifts like a stage set, the haunting music swells, and the boss itself dances and strikes in ways that feel as elegant as they are deadly. Mechanically, it's a masterclass in visual storytelling. Every moment feels choreographed, yet unpredictable. It's not just a fight, it's an experience. Emotional, unsettling, and unforgettable. You don't just win the last performance, you survive it, and walk away changed, knowing that you finally brought what the denizens of Cenotaph City have longed for far too long. Death. This game is kinda messed up.
Number 7.
I'm just putting both of his encounters here because they're both so good. Blasphemous is less of a boss fight and more of a psychological breakdown in boss form. It messes with the rules, warping your perception, breaking the fourth wall, and even using menu screens against you. You're not just fighting a boss, you're fighting the game itself. Mechanically, it's a gauntlet of mind games and surreal visuals, constantly shifting the battlefield under your feet. One minute you're dodging blades in a dark void, the next you're reliving corrupted memories of your character's past. It's bold, experimental, and unforgettable. Exactly the kind of boss fight that reminds you why Death's Gambit Afterlife stands out in the genre. And of course, that anime ending where everyone comes together to give you strength is what I live for.
Everyone, I need you all to lend me your energy!
Number 6.
In a game known for its amazing boss fights, only one prevails as the best of the best. The Mantis Lord's fight is a masterclass in elegance and design. No giant monsters, no chaotic particle storms, just clean, rhythmic combat that tests your reaction time and pattern recognition. First, you face one nimble boss, then the other two descend, attacking in perfect sync with dive slashes and wall strikes that demand tight dodges and precise timing. What really elevates this fight is its storytelling. Beat the Lords, and the Mantis tribe allows you into Deep Nest and shows you respect. It's not just a battle, it's a rite of passage. Defeating them feels earned. It's tough but fair, stylish but restrained, and the most iconic boss fight in a game full of iconic boss fights.
Number 5.
Penitent one in sleeplessness, carrying the guilty sword, you have committed the most serious crimes against the Mother and her saints, against the miracle and its outbreaks.
Penitente's duel with Chrysanta was a long time coming. What makes this fight unforgettable isn't just the mechanics, it's the meaning. Chrysanta is your mirror, a rival, a kindred spirit, a tragic figure caught in the same twisted fate. She's the one who slaughtered you and your brotherhood. And as you cut through her relentless onslaught, you're not just fighting for survival, you're severing her chains to the miracle, granting her the freedom she was denied. This battle is a blood-soaked ballet, her elegant and brutal attacks more dance than combat, forcing you to learn the rhythm or die trying. Thankfully, the music for this dance is suitably epic. This fight is blasphemous at its most brutal and its most beautiful.
Number 4.
In a list of Metroidvania boss fights, you knew Nine Souls was going to show up. But which boss? Igong seems like the obvious pick. She's brutally tough, and the student versus mentor dynamic hits hard. But as much as I enjoy getting sliced up and served my own ass, I don't think Igong is the best fight in Nine Souls. That honor goes to Lady Ethereal, the architect of the Soulscape system. The horror-style build-up and her tragic backstory set the stage perfectly, but it's the battle itself that steals the show. With multiple fake ethereals attacking at once, it's a chaotic and deadly game of hide-and-seek. Doing this across 3 escalating phases, you're bound to get locked into a satisfying flow state that, much like the lady herself, might trap players in a euphoric loop they can't escape.
Number 3.
This isn't just a boss fight. It's the moment that defined an entire genre. The final battle against Mother Brain starts off deceptively simple, echoing the original Metroid. But then, the glass shatters, literally. And what follows is an emotional roller coaster of lasers, explosions, and one of the most iconic moments in gaming history. Just when you think you've lost, the baby Metroid swoops in to save the day, and sacrifices itself in the process. That final, rage-fueled power-up turns Samus into an unstoppable force of nature. It's cinematic, cathartic, and unforgettable. If you're building a Mount Rushmore of Metroidvania bosses, Mother Brain has to be on it.
Number 2.
If you've never played Atto, you're missing out on one of the most emotionally devastating boss fights in the genre. Rebirth isn't just a test of skill, it's a battle soaked in grief and desperation. You're no longer fighting the cult's demon, it's possessed your wife. Atto lowers his gaze during this fight, not because he fears the monster she's become, but because he knows this is his fault. His shame hangs heavy. To save their child, he has to pay the price for his actions. He must kill his own wife. The fight itself is fast, brutal, and beautifully animated. And in a game where every battle feels personal, this one hits the hardest. It's unforgettable, it's heartbreaking, and it might just be the best boss you've never fought.
Number 1.
This one's gonna ruffle feathers. Literally. The final boss of Iconoclasts is a giant space bird trucker. And yes, that's just as absurd as it sounds, especially since this revelation comes out of nowhere. But here's the thing. Beneath the chaos and comedy lies genius. The Star Worm isn't a god, Ivory isn't divine. It's all sci-fi tech and rocket fuel. This fight is the narrative twist laid bare. This world's entire religion, everything its demagogues fought and oppressed others to protect, gets shattered by a bird throwing a temper tantrum over wasted fuel. It's wild, it's subversive, and yeah, it's deeply divisive. But in one final, ridiculous scream, Iconoclasts drives home its core message. Blind faith will leave you broken, lost, and maybe get you yelled at by a space chicken. Love it or hate it, you won't forget it. And that's why it is my number 1 Metroidvania boss fight. And there you have it, the top 10 best Metroidvania boss fights. Whether it was a brutal challenge, a heartbreaking story moment, or just pure mechanical bliss, these encounters show exactly why this genre is so special. But now it's your turn. What boss fights left you speechless? What did I miss? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss another dive into the labyrinth of Metroidvanias. Until next time, later nerds.